Hi there, welcome back to the Noah Presgrove case. There is some more breaking news within the community, dodgy accounts coming around, supposedly threatening behaviour, and even the odd page under attack through legal stuff. It's a complete mess, isn't it? But I just want to look at it today to get an idea of what's happening, and it could be of your interest just in case you're in any of these groups or you're interacting with strange accounts in the future or default profiles. Just spread that awareness so everyone knows what's up, what's currently ongoing, especially on these pages and groups which not everybody has access to. So just shine a bit of light, analyse if necessary, because the resistance factor needs to be measured with time. Higher levels could mean much closer to the truth, almost like a game of hot and cold, but obviously it's a serious time, but not everybody is taking it seriously enough, and some of the reactions and responses by individuals which could be presented in today's video due to what's happened with the Caden Pressey situation. So it's best if you do stick around, or at least try to, that would be appreciated. Big shout out to a handful of people last night for their support on this channel with super chats or super stickers. Very good to see, wasn't expecting it, much appreciated. Welcome to those that are currently here once again in this live premiere. Share your thoughts in the chat box on the right side of the screen, and for everybody else that is catching up or wants to comment later on towards the end of the video, leave a comment down below under the video. You'll also find a pinned message by me with additional links if you do want to support this channel. I'm not sure if the individual will hear this, but in terms of in the background, PayPal, big shout out to the individual last night. You know who you are. So that's all good there. If you simply want to catch up with recent videos of mine, we've been pretty heavy and full on. Some really in-depth stuff. Top right corner of the screen where the I symbol is, just click up there and you'll be able to find it. So a lot is going on. There's not enough time to settle down with information and really look at it closely because it's just a new thing every single day. I do want to acknowledge one point, but I'll save that towards the end of this video. Be sure to stick around for that, because maybe at some point I do need to put my foot down in regards to some stuff. But right now, I need to look at what's going on. To begin with, the Army page, a place that you'll be quite familiar with now because I've covered it, referenced it, and it's been very helpful with time, where it'd be key people reaching out, some bullet points, theories, ideas, and even people that have just simply reposted or reshared my videos onto those places. It's all good. It has been under attack, or it has been questioned by certain family members of, Noah's family. We saw that just before the 1-year anniversary. Some comments and some posts which sparked all kinds of drama and conflict. It seems to be a bit more under control now. It has been quieter then. The case discussion page, which we'll be taking a look at as well today because that is more active at the moment. But the Army page appears to be under attack in some kind of threatening situation. But why exactly? I mean, it's gone quiet, the page, not as full on with certain posts as in, the case discussion one. So why should it be a target though? Is it just because there's a lot of members on the page? I mean, I can't remember, was it like 62,000 people on the Justice page, the official one? As you would expect, if it's run by the family, people always look up to the key ones, the relevant ones in the case, or the victim's family, they'll join over there. When it comes to the more informal groups, might not be as popular, but they are more lenient, and it can provide a lot more freedom in positive ways. But with that can come those that may abuse it and kind of ruin it for others. So whether it be language, wording, or post, I think that's what ties in line with the current issues. So without further ado, we're just going to start it right now. Look at the latest post by Michael Facecaz. Look at some of the comments, and then head on over to the discussion page. Let's go. Here we are, 10 hours ago, in bold, urgent. We are under threat of a lawsuit. Please read. Sounds pretty serious, doesn't it? Now, have we seen anything like this before? Have any of you as a viewer been in these circumstances or threatened in such a serious legal way? Let me know your own experiences down below in the comment section if you feel comfortable doing so. The only experience I had is where a person said, "I'm going to sue you," even though the language and wording that I used was very, very appropriate and it was all under control, but clearly they failed to comprehend it. In the end, it was under control, but nevertheless, when people act out in that way, it can be a little bit worrying at times, especially if it's your first time ever. If you're used to this shit, maybe you know the ins and outs, but still, there's always a time where you could be caught off guard. It happens, just like how it does in real life. Is it justified though? Not always. So let's just see what Michael has had to say, if it can be explained. Our group, and this is Noah Presgrove's army, which is quite surprising. Our group is being targeted by individuals, more than one, seeking frivolous lawsuits to silence the truth and suppress open discussion. To protect our community, it's critical that everyone adheres to the following guidelines when posting or commenting. When expressing your views, be sure to state them as opinions, phrases, "in my opinion," for example, or "IMO," to make it clear. Opinions are genuinely protected from libel claims under the US defamation law. So I can understand what Michael's getting at here, because I have seen a handful of posts with time where people have been very bold and very confident, as in stating this happened, that person's responsible, and maybe there's a chance that it's true, but other times it's not, or it's not fully been confirmed yet, and it could be considered jumping the gun. And if somehow there's a twist or the person ended up being innocent, it could really backfire and the tables could turn. But what happens with previous post row? Is it just about changing language and wording for the future? What happens to past post which may have used inappropriate wording? Does that get deleted or what? I wonder who the people are seeking lawsuits. Names what we've heard of before. It just goes into a bit more detail, does not extend to individual users. It means that individuals, you could be vulnerable if your statements are not properly framed as opinions. Our page is always moderated content and will continue to do so. Removing any material that violates these laws, we are committed to maintaining a respectful, lawful community in compliance with federal regulations. We know these issues rarely arise and our admins and moderators typically respond to any concerns. So if it doesn't happen that often, but there's been enough talk to mention it here, well, things must be pretty serious. I guess there's no harm in reading this out just to spread awareness, because there might be some people at some point that may make a post and feel like they're being silenced in a bad way, but there's an explanation here for it. Possibly. So what do people have to say in response? So Jamie says, "In my opinion, Alicia Lee came with receipts and she is right to do so." What's that in response to? It sounds very vague. Is this to do with the Kathy Bingham situation? But has anything else transpired since? I've not seen it myself. Vanessa agrees. Katie, thanks for the update. Do you have a question? What if someone in this group using a man's name when it's a woman's that's involved with this tragedy, and they private message me at 2:45 making incorrect statements about me when she has no clue of what I'm dealing with? What rights do I have? If this comment needs deleted, please do, and private message me, please. I don't private message people. That's beginning rude. I do ask questions in the comments. If I'm going to private message anyone, I'll let them know in the comments. Right, follow the case from the beginning. I was working in the area when this totally uncalled murder happened. I think I might have seen this comment before. I post pictures that I hope will uplift the army group. So is this person being targeted as well? Doesn't sound too good. In my opinion, AEW should be worried about bigger charges than defamation and slander. AEW. What does AW mean? Avery or someone else? I can't remember seeing that abbreviation before. Katie says, just block her. Block who? Right, so there's really not much context here, but let's move on. There we go, Justin Roy. Not seen Justin Roy for a bit. They want truth and justice for Nera, yet instead of helping get truth and justice, all they've been doing is playing the victim and having people screenshot everything for a lawsuit. How is that getting justice for Noah? Sad people, yet they can say whatever they want on other pages, talk about slander. I mean, those that claim to care about the case should be only focused about the case. I mean, people have used that line on me with Dylan Rounds. Oh, stop talking about drama, stop doing this or responding here, just focus on the case. But there is a time and place where you do need to defend yourself. And if anyone's in a situation like that, they should be able to defend themselves. But how much defending is going on? Or is it more of an attacking method when they defend themselves? Some people out there, like, the strangers, the outsiders, there's a way to go about things, and I've not really seen many do it in the correct way. And then that's what leads to a couple of these problems and issues. Tiffany, they've been threatening to sue for months, but when people say they, who's they? Any direct names to mention? If they sue, please let them know that I will be counter-suing for slander, defamation of character at minimum, plus damages. They may be using EP. What? Alicia Pressy? No, it must mean something else, allegedly. As a front for this round of the threats, but anyone who's been around long enough knows allegedly that it's the same people that have been saying this for months. I have all the screenshots needed to prove my case. You read what you said. I mean, just to the best of my ability of what I'm aware of, I just thought it was Travers, not Monson, the other Travers, that was going about, saying, oh, sue you, and that's mainly it. But are there other names, other people? I've not come across them myself. Kelly, stereotypical narcissistic bullies. When they're caught in lies, they employ all their manipulation tactics, trying to gain sympathy, turn the narrative to make themselves the victim, gaslighting. Have I seen anyone cry or act like that? No. So, people may have seen things that I haven't. I've pretty much seen all that. Oh. I don't know why some comments are shown. Maybe the order changed when I was looking at it. Right, so we've transitioned on to the case discussion group. I've just come across this post. I don't know how true it is. It could be a bit random out there, but there's no harm in reading it. I'm not sure if it's like a repost or what, but when there's capital letters and some in bold, it looks like it may have been copied and pasted from somewhere else by Christie 15 hours ago. Let's just see. These statements are not mine, okay? And do not reflect my opinions. They are messages from someone else. What, Dina Rose or another individual? In a sea of theories, these messages have been stated loudly as facts. Is this Dina Rose? I'm trying to understand why. What is the original source? What is the goal? Members of Noah's family have repeatedly came out against these posts, and they continued with some strong support on here. What is going on? Messages by date posted in, so it's all in 2024, 8th of the 11th. Is that must be, the correct, sometimes I get mixed up with dates because sometimes the US, they have it reversed the other way. But the 8th, the 11th, 2024, one of the guilty has come forwards, is under the care of a top lawyer, and is telling everything that happened from start to finish. Arrest are coming. I saw a comment recently on my channel where someone was re-quoting it, saying, oh, it was on Facebook, or it was by Partners in True Crime. I never saw it myself, and I don't know how long ago it was. No, not sure if it links to what we're reading here. Just for anyone listening in, just be very careful, right, with what we're looking at here. It's not saying it's 100% a fact, it's what's been stated by others or another individual. All I can do is just read it out and maybe give my thoughts along the way. 8th of the 15th, Noah was killed and his body was disposed of on the road. Right, the PI is being attacked and should be left alone. And yet in recent time, the PI has been doing the attacking on Caden now. 8th 27th, Noah's justice has begun in a big way. 8th of the 30th, Noah was refused a ride home. There was premeditation. 9th of the 1st, several fake friends were responsible for the horrible death and cover-up. One of the guilty continues to talk. Doesn't seem like much has happened though. 9th of the 5th, progress is being made in the case. 9th of the 7th, greater progress is being made in the case. Ellie is quite for good reason. The case is much bigger than anyone realised. Okay, not much more left. 9th of the 5th, progress being made in the case. 9th of the 7th, greater progress being made in the case. Oh, I read that, sorry. 9th of the 9th, something or someone called Bill. Who the hell's Bill? Big Bill? Very important to the case. New evidence continues to light. I've never heard of Bill before. 9th of the 10th, Noah's going to tell secrets about adultery and cheating. Several people silenced him. 9th of the 11th. JJ Bumpas' hand was bitten very badly in an altercation with Noah, supposedly. Bite became infected, requiring antibiotics, provided by an adult who is not a doctor. Several witnessed the bandaged hand. Video evidence and witness testimony of Travis J.J. Colton being at the party at around 3 a.m. Monday morning. Travis J.J. being in Oklahoma City prior. Noah injured his knuckles, fighting Jack and punching a door. Orpha has never met the private investigator and does not get information from her. Orpha does not know Ken Pressey or any other family member. Ellie is all information and evidence. Bill continues to be very important, and I've not once heard Bill's name. 9th of the 12th, more evidence is coming to light. Noah did not leave the property alive. There'll be more than one arrest. Bill continues to be very important and not related to the FBI. Video of Noah's death has been viewed by the author and has been shared with multiple law enforcement divisions. Important note, it is absolutely not okay to threaten or go real life on anyone regardless of differences of opinions. Okay, you can't really be threatening or going after anyone with these points mentioned up top when no reference source has been given as to where it came from or who by. I mean, you could probably have a good guess as to who said these stuff or some of it, but still. Interesting. I don't know what to really say at the moment, you know, is where it is. When I do my own analysis, when I can, and when there's time, I do find out a lot easier. A lot easier. Kelly, you must be off on perpetrating lies and gossip and innuendo. Delete all you want. You are part of the problem. I said what I said. What? Wait, so is Christy calling Kelly out or is Kelly calling Christy out? Is Kelly the one that stated that stuff up above? Oh no. Thank you for the chat. Yes, it's all getting very old. I'm just trying to understand. More lies and speculation. Don't you folks get tired? What lies and speculation? These are not facts, except 8 of the 15th. I can all agree what happened. Every other hour, someone has new evidence to throw into the mix. People make the most unhinged and misleading comments all the time in this group. It doesn't make it true. You have people who are intentionally putting out bad information as a form of deflection. This case has been riddled with BS, not Brylan sweat, but bullshit since the beginning. Why make it more confusing? Tons of notifications today and reply to the wrong one. Go talk to cops since you know so much in the know. Apologies for not being clear initially. Respectfully, okay. Try to make it shorter and more clear. I'm not stating any of these messages and do not support them. Trying to understand them. Might just be how it was put across and worded. Misunderstandings, we get that a lot, don't we? Andrea, you're pointing out that a lot of people here on the pages are supporting the poster and you're trying to figure out why, correct? When all the points are laid out, it's even more clear to see it's a lot of wild theories and statements. Right? Never understood any of these messages. They were questioned about the validity. I take a post. Her post. Is Derek referring to a particular person? Hefty dose of skepticism. Too many people claim to be in the know and speak in cryptic messages. Well, yeah, seen the crypticness. When pressed, they either become extremely defensive or ignore altogether. I mean, I can come on here and post arrest are coming and turn around and not back up my claim. 100% people who actually are in the know aren't talking. Am I missing something? I don't see a single threat in your post like anywhere. I mean, has that been a bit of a pattern where there's supposedly threats going about but we don't actually see them? We might actually come across some later today. Maybe. Just out of curiosity, does anyone know for a fact any of these are not true? I'm just asking. Anybody? To be honest, I'll be honest with you, it's quite heavy. In terms of when you follow a case, where do you go? Where do you go? Well, in terms of the Dylan Rounds case, there was a lot of talk and there was a lot of experts online. But when it came to East Idaho News, when it came to the odd YouTube channel, even if it's an unfavourable one at some point, that interviewed Candice Cooley, Justin Rounds, the family, and information came out, some consistency here and there, it just helped. And then you could apply it to the maps, you could apply it to what you already know of, compare. When it's online in the public groups, obviously with a lot more freedom, it's a bit more loose. What do we have here? So private investigator says Caden Pressey and his mom are not telling the truth. Here she is with 3 phones at the home of the Pressey's family place, and you can see the family is having a conversation. Question, did the PI turn over all 3 of the phones to the LE because one of them definitely has the video on it? Of course, it's my opinion always. Right, Is this the Shannon Scott that's friends with Alicia Lee, or is it another person out there? There's too many names to remember, but kind of interesting, I guess. Why does it not go full screen? Why is it at the bottom corner screen? Oh, why is Facebook so fucking shit? God damn it. Right, so pretty much it. I mean, Caden Pressey said in that interview that there's like camera footage to prove that, you know, she was there, paid a visit and stuff. And I guess showed the footage too, and you got the phones there. Is it normal to have that many phones? Maybe if you're a private investigator, but how do you handle them? We do have the Daily Mail article here, which I guess would be no harm in reading and going over, but to be honest, we've pretty much looked at it already. I think what I might do is scroll through it in the background at some point. If anything stands out or if it's worded differently, maybe I can include it in a video. But Vanessa says, well, they want to get Kane in trouble, which is why Kathy Bingham, also known as Scooby-Doo Prime Investigator, has said she never showed video to Caden or his family. She has been bought, and now they want the only one who cared enough to come forward to get in trouble, even though they posted the video with Trav Davison. We are under threat. Oh. Has this been posted in both communities or something? It looks like it. Oh, I didn't even know. Yeah, because it's a different set of comments. So, there we go. This is the key thing, what we mainly came here for. Shout out to Vanessa. Look what we got here. She is happy how OHP had snarky comments to Caden, all bunch of corrupt trash. Also, Kathy, why are you sharing stuff to the guilty? So, comment-wise, we'll just get through it bit by bit. And of course, it's on the far side of the screen, which is just perfect because I want it right in the middle and it will not let me. I'll just have to zoom in for now. Denise Rogers Arnold. Oh, an Arnold. That's a first. Is this time for me to showcase another voice? Maybe if things are a little bit negative at the moment.
Right, we got the Arnold. Get to the chapel right now. Getting attacked from all angles and I don't know what to do. I'm trying really hard, but I could not do anything because I'm really in danger. Heck, I should be the one in danger, not you. Anyway, I'll be back.
Really strains to throat that. Okay. Well, I know Kathy. You know Kathy Bingham? I didn't realise I knew her. Well, that's useful. But I do, and we've been talking. We usually don't talk about the case, but I did ask her about that. And there's no video of 4 people taking black shorts off of Noah. The tape that I think he was referring to, Caden. Oh, so you're trying to say like Caden got it wrong, mixed up. We've seen other people do that. But supposedly this video was to do with what she showed on the podcast with Cindy and Rob. Did Kathy Bingham actually show video footage on Cindy and Rob's podcast? Can anyone confirm that? Because I probably didn't watch it. And it was real scuff, real dark. She was trying to point out somebody in a uniform shirt in the background, and I asked her, I said, oh, the one that's real dark and like real close up, and she said, yeah. And she said she did not show it to him, his dad and his mom. She only showed it to his mom out on the front porch, but I did promise her I would not discuss that part on the pages. I did not say anything about privately, lol. Is this what we just like looked at before, where it showed that CCTV footage of Kathy Bingham at Caden's place with Alicia Lee and the father sat around that table with the 3 mobile phones? Is that like a link or a counterpoint? Is that it there? We'll just move on to the next one, Denise Rogers Arnold. And so right after that recording, when the investigators were in total shock and surprised, they did go over and visit her, called her right away, and she said, y'all more than welcome to come get my phone. I'll show you the one I'm referring to. Apparently, she told them that she did not show it to him. So his mum must have described it to Ken Pressey. That's not the part Kathy said. That's part of my assumption that Ken Pressey's mum described it to him. I'll be honest with you, I can't really keep up with all this shit, to be honest. So maybe on this one occasion, this is a sign to tell me I need to get back on track. I need to lock in with my own videos. I need to think outside of the box. Maybe I'm too close within, not to the truth, not to the case, but You know, like the Dylan Rounds case where I was just like on the side and I was just doing my own thing and there was all kinds of talk going on elsewhere. Some of it may have been true, other bits was contested, and in the end it kind of cleared up. But, you know, do you go through that storm or do you fast track your way in a more efficient way? I think that's a possibility. I'm going to take that into consideration. But, you know, at the end of this video, I want to know your thoughts. You know, the style, the methods, the quality, the detail, right? Is it as good as original videos or not quite? It's important to keep up with the latest discussions and news. You don't want to fall behind, but then equally, you don't want to get stuck in a robotic way. What's this one? Sofa Sleuths, Oklahoma. Right, so this is why some of it is not coming about. Whoever took this screenshot, naughty, you got 16% battery life. You'd better plug yourself in. Brooke Bounds Carter, top contributor, Sofa Sleuths, Denise Rogers Arnold. Who is Denise Arnold and who's she related to? Responding to Pam. Interesting that Pam Fieldman Garrison, I believe, is also on the Army page or one of them. I might be getting mixed up, but I'm sure Pam was the one to complain about me talking slow. Or maybe it was a different Pam. Don't know how many different Pams you get out there. Either way, I think she's talking about that 2-hour interview with Caden Pressey. Brooke says, is clutch. She is the MVP. Yes, she is. What's it in response to? She is the MVP. What? Kathy Bingham? Yeah. You're so mean dropping this with no explanation. Are you talking about the screenshot of any of the conversations with little Colton Newton? See, whilst it's gathered, it seems to be a bit convoluted all over the place, if I'll be honest with you. No, ma'am. Just listen to almost 2.5 hours of the leaked interview. Mind blown, all I can say. I love Oklahoma Highway Patrol little snarky comments. So Brooke Bounds Carter seems to get off of Caden being interrogated, questioned, and being told off at times, and, you know, questioned and counterpoints, whatever. It just seems a bit childish, to be honest. They were worth the trip. So it all seems very childish behaviour by fully grown up adults who may be in professional situations in life, but how they appear online is a little bit embarrassing. But nothing surprises me because the Dylan Rounds case was the exact same. Right. Can I possibly zoom out or just back out of here to see just the comments in general? I'm still stuck. There we go. Is that enough? Whoa. Gotta be careful you don't zoom too far out or you end up getting kicked off. You know what? After reading these comments, I'm probably going to go a bit freestyle and we're just going to get straight into the maps. I'm getting a bit bored. Anyway, Kayla. At this point, I feel like it's just straight cover-up because, well, they haven't searched that house in over a year. It's so sad. Red flag. There's no lie there. Authorities not doing their jobs. You seem to have a lot of inside information. I sure do. It's called never giving up. I mean, really, if you're able to access a range of different pages somehow, that's how you get a hold of it, really. It's not that difficult, but, you know, it does come down to stamina as well. And do you really want to do it? Can you do it? Are you capable? And, you know, Vanessa seems very capable of doing it and does quite well. More than one what? The video. Oh, there's more than one video. So what, the highway one, the supposed murder video, any other videos, or multiple videos of the murder situation? The hell? Someone at the crime scene taking his black shorts off? Yeah, supposedly. Then there's more than one video now. Copies. Oh. Multiple copies of the highway footage. That's what's supposedly meant here. You implied there were more than one video and now you're saying copies. That's not the same thing. That's how rumours get started, and that's not fair to imply that. I'm sure Noah's family gets his information just wrong the way you implied that. There was no video, it was a picture, really? That she had on the podcast. That's the one he's describing. You know, depending how things go, it would be very, very unfortunate if that's all it was at the end of the day. But one of those things. for anyone that hasn't seen the footage, you know, they've got to just trust in that it does exist and it is really out there. It's hard. Exact same thing describing the video pictures. You had the podcast, no video, and lady did not sit in front of those people's houses for 3 nights. That one is a little wild. There is no video. And that lady did not sit. How do you know she did not sit there? Interesting. But would she though? Would it make any sense? With some 1 PM, a copy of the legal doc associated. Who's Kathy? Who's Denise? Kathy Bingham is old Presgrove family friend, donating her PI time to Noah's case free of charge. Denise, pretty sure is on sofa sleuths. Yep. Anti-Noah. And where they laugh at Noah's death, someone may be coughing up answers. So no connections quite explained there. Right. Seen. Oh yeah, spelled with a C. It should be a K. Yeah, that might have been mixed up at some point. Why do y'all believe anything they say? They've been doing this from the beginning, trying to twist and turn stuff from them. Discussing grown ass. Women. Right. Everyone's attention. What's this? I would not have known Kane Pressey so blatantly lied to authorities about seeing a video without you putting up the link. It's shocking how badly he lied about seeing a video that doesn't actually exist. He was adamant he was showing it by the PI and even described what he saw. Why did he do that, I wonder? Oh, counterpoint. Hey, you know, there's screenshots in the sleuth group, buddy. We know once again who you are. Have fun. Oh, suppose another person being called out. Thank your best friend Brooke Carter who sent it to Travis to post. I wanted everyone to see how sickening she is and report it. BS. You just want attention. Why do you believe this interview should be hidden from the public? The only new piece of information in it is that Kane Pressey empathetically lies to Ellie and tells them. You know, I think we're actually minimising it a little bit, and I'll add on in a second. I don't know Brooke Carter, I live in Chicago, and I don't know anyone on the case personally. This interview exists because Caden Pressey taped it. It's in public because he and his family shared it. It's not private property when you share it. That claim of it, it's just publicly shared. But at least how Alicia worded it was done in confidence, it was done privately, not openly. What the hell? So much stuff going on. What's this? Keep fantasizing. There is no such video. Brenda Dick. That's a different name. Are you making threats? So you're saying the PI that's working for the family lied when she said she has no such video and she never showed him such a video. Delusional old man, it's your bedtime now. Oh no. Don't you have a criminal to go after? So she did not. It was a video. So Ellie comes in after Kate Pressey offered them. She had notes. Photoshop much? Are you really this cartoonish? I mean, to be honest, you know, if WJ Hill was, you know, telling the truth from his perspective and trying to be on the straight and narrow and trying to appear as a better human than others, you know, if others have been a bit petty or seen things when they're not there, I think WJ is going off track completely, because whether it be when you lose in a conversation or other reason you start referring to people's profile pictures, it just seems a bit random or so. Weird, very weird. I don't know what the hell's going on. I mean, at the end of the day, whatever WJ's going on about photoshopping much, there's one thing you can't photoshop, and that's Vanessa's personality and behaviour. Very caring individual and very focused at times. That can't be copied, that's unique, that's individual within Vanessa. As for everything else, I've not seen anything negative with them. They come across as a good individual. And of course, some could say it's a bit biased because I've only seen one side to people, but, you know, I need to be honest as well at the same time. But, you know, I've come across some dodgy people out there, you know, completely other people. Default profile pictures. I know there's other people that will have default profile pictures and are good people too. It does vary, but I'm just saying that at times when I've come across levels of resistance on YouTube or maybe a bit further afar, it can be people with default profile pictures. As for this WJ Heel, never came across them before, so I don't know what's going on. But, you know, shout out to Vanessa. What's this? She implied earlier that there were more videos, and then when somebody asked her, she said copies implying is lying. To be perfectly honest, I really did not really have an opinion. I mean, I think I summarised it a bit better, to be honest, how I interpreted it. But there's a lot going on. I think you need to put on another pound of makeup and get back to your criminal justice work. I think you need to go buy diapers and go to bed, crazy man. So, I don't know. You know, for those people that may not agree with certain conversations or people, you know, I guess you just use it as an exercise to say, this is what can happen, this is what it can lead to. Let's not let history repeat itself or be a carbon copy elsewhere. As said, any trouble here, it will be under control, or at least eventually it will be. But, you know, Vanessa, I don't know, I don't know what to say, because it's just such a messy situation. Right. What we'll do now, Warlike Ref is going to slap himself around the face a few times, and I'm going to head on to the maps. Okay, here we are. Get ready for the sound. You hear that? That's on me. Hear that again? That's on me too. And again. And again, anyone watching, anyone in the background right now, whether they're frustrated with this video or the quality of it, or just me, I welcome everybody to slap me in the face. And no, this is not some kind of weird recreation or summoning ritual of the Noah Presgrove party or anything like that. It's completely different. It's about slapping oneself and getting a grip of things, because to be honest, the positive out of all this is I do feel and sense that originality isn't quite there, and we need to bring that back, because that's what makes it more unique when it comes to this stuff. I found that the maps, sure, actually they do actually really help, and then just really breaking it down bit by bit, because there is so much text, there's so much conversation, and it can be interesting, it can be critical. It is important to spread awareness of those that could be in danger or under threat. It's important to spread awareness that there are times where Vanessa Salazar will get maybe attacked or insulted, and is it exactly necessary? Probably not. Language and wording along the way by whoever, if it's not exactly executed well, it can lead to not so great outcomes. Got to be conscious of that too. So what I've got on screen, you know, we've seen it before in terms of a particular timeline of events, but do we stick with it, or do I create a new timeline? I said I was considering that, basing it off from what Kane Pressey said in that interview. In terms of the highway footage, I guess most people are firmly in some kind of consensus that it is out there, it does exist, but then there's a handful of others, and probably from other more distant pages, saying, no, it doesn't exist, it's a photo or some other footage of it being too dark and maybe a person in the background and you can't quite make them out that clearly. If that's all it was, it'd be very disappointing. You know, you'd hope to think that there is some kind of strong evidence out there. When it came to the Dylan Rounds case, when it was mentioned that there was some strong evidence here or there, it remained in place and it didn't go backwards. It only went backwards when it was those within the community and those online in Dylan Rounds that were stating that there was evidence, or that this happened, or that person knows, and it wasn't really backed up and it just fell through. Kind of like the Joy Perry situation, and maybe another individual about the Kurt Wadsworth, the hot tub situation, the Noah Presgrove situation. What did it lead to? Absolutely fuck all. And even when it came to the Jim Terry situation, the Mr. X situation of we're the ones to get the first footage of Dylan Rounds in 2021 and pulled over by police. So what? Did that justify Dylan's death? No. Did it lead to Dylan's death? Nope. Apologies if I do slip up with the names Dylan, Noah, Dylan, because, you know, I've covered them for so damn long. Not so much the Noah Presgrove one, but I'll be on the way to doing that probably. Like, where do you start first of all? You know, whether you're a viewer or a creator, where do you go from here? You keep going down that long road. What's at the end of it? Or you just stop for a second, look around, visually speaking, and see what's currently present. What can you currently work with? And personally, I think what I can currently work with would be that timeline itself, just to zero in on it, because not in a bad way, but I think there might be a handful of people distracted Not away from the case, they're still within the case, defending it and shining light on the darkness that's causing trouble, which is still a critical part. But some of the previous things which we might have been focused on may have been lost in focus. That's why what I'm thinking of doing is going back over it. Well, no, not even going back over it, but continuing forwards. Because that Caden Pressey timeline, the timestamps were a bit different to what I heard in the Partners in True Crime one. And if the private one is more true, then it has some implications with the other events ongoing. So I'll do a separate timeline of that. It would be good if there was more places of interest to check out. I mean, I can put like markers on, you know, you got the field area here and there where supposedly, when Kane said, they drove about in the field shooting animals. So, not that we can actually make any out because time has passed by, but you just imagine track marks in the field. That's where they could have gone. But how significant is it to Noah's death? Because it happened over that way? Well, not to say exactly, but just needs to become more familiar with the area and the chances, the possibilities of where something would actually happen or take place. Was there any planning? You know, people can say, well, the planning of the killing and that being built up to the event, but even just in the moment and after, was there any plan to, let's do it over here or let's do it down there? And it's still based on a theory of murder, and that's just to be careful with the language and wording. There are some oversensitive people out there as well, and we can get a bit more on topic shortly. JJ Bumpas did respond, supposedly. I'll show you what was mentioned in just a second. But I think with this case, it got to a point where maybe getting to grip with things, right? And then in recent time, some stuff's been leaked. Some things don't quite make sense. Counterpoints by outsiders. A lot of convoluted text. A lot of convoluted post. A lot of supposed threats, but maybe it depends on how they're interpreted. Because you know me, I've not been able to see it quite the same way as other people. I mean, say that there's no threats. There could be, but they've not been as clear, or they've not been as direct as we've seen in the past. You know, the Stevie Howard one, that was very clear. Brooke Bounce-Carter one, that was very clear. And a repeat in recent time, as we saw, it was going to bite you in the ass. And that letter E at the end supposedly was in response to Alicia Lee. But this is what I mean, it's not as clear as it used to be, unless these people are doing it on purpose now to be able to say what they want without it backfiring too much, because people aren't going to question it as much if it's worded in a cryptic way or in a very vague sense. So you could say that as the case goes on, the drama, the community, the tension and whatnot, people are evolving a little bit and adapting. So other people have to adapt as well. But how would you describe this situation? Is it a storm of chaos? Because if it really is, could you compare it to the Dylan Rounds case? Because I was able to direct myself well around it without going completely through it. Difference is, within the Dylan Rounds case community, true crime YouTube streets, it was drama, people falling out over one another, but not all in the name of Dylan Rounds. It was a portion of it, but it wasn't the main root cause or so. People had issues before that and knew one another before coming together or so, collectively. It depends. You can have drama and trouble within a case, but about a different subject, but they're just hovering about, and maybe it can move away, maybe it can drift apart, and it doesn't harm the case too much. In this situation, you got like two sides. Those that care about the case and want to try and solve it or, you know, support it along the way. And then those who don't want it to be fixed, don't want it to be solved, maybe slow things down, add some confusion in, critique others, and that tends to be the opposition. You'd think probably those within, or those connected to those within, trying to slow things down. My own experiences have been limited in terms of the darkness and the negativity. Things have happened in the past, documented it, I shared it to you, not much happened. Maybe because I'm on a different platform, right? If you're on Facebook, maybe you are an easier target. If you got an established Facebook account with photos, friendships, connections, where you live, details and all that, maybe you are easier to find. If you got text messages and things on the sideline, maybe you are easier to reach. If you can minimise that, it just gets a little bit clearer. You've got too much going on, it gets a bit too much cluttered. And some of this talk can apply to people that are confused or not quite sure what to do or a bit overwhelmed with everything going on in the case, because whilst it's important to focus on the case, the progression and learning all about that, it's also important to acknowledge the steps along the way, because if you can make adjustments or someone else can, it might make things easier for them in order to then lock in harder on the case and go further. These little micro adjustments can make a big difference, but sometimes it's difficult to find or hard to activate. You know, we talk about the psychological part within the case, critical, important at the time and beyond, the decision making, the thought process. You know, in other cases, maybe more so serial killers, oh, let's learn about them post-event and post them being caught to understand their mindset, to see what ticks, what goes wrong, what caused it in the first place, to then apply it in the future to make sure it doesn't happen again. But that's bullshit, because history keeps repeating itself, doesn't it, with all kinds of stuff. Even if you want to apply it to mass shootings, oh, let's analyse this, let's analyse that to the cows come home. Fuck that shit, ain't changing anything, it's still the same outcomes with time. So, instead of trying to control that, which doesn't seem to be controllable at the moment, you just look at what's controllable right now, what's present, timeline, map analysis, updated one, but not exactly a new one. It's actually an older timeline, maybe a more original one. Compare and contrast as to how it appears with the Partners in True Crime one, and I'd say it does differ to an extent, actually, quite a lot. And it brings everything back, and it's a knock-on effect with stuff. Does it make more sense? Does it support someone's timeline more? Does it make Jack stand out more as a dodgy individual? That's what it's all about, and then be able to reach a conclusion. If there was more footage from the party, if it was more accessible, and I don't mean the outright murder video, that'd be too obvious then. If it does exist, you'd just say, oh, well, we see that face, we see that voice, that's pretty much it. Case closed, and hopefully things move forwards with the justice. It's never that easy, is it? So, with whatever material and photos that do exist, to look at them. That's what I would normally do. The problem is getting a hold of it, because it's scattered about all over the bloody place. Sure, Daily Mail had some photos, default compilation video. Maybe other people have other photos, which may not be a big deal on the surface level, but you never know if you look a bit closer at it. It's like the Travis Monson situation, the bathroom photos, things like that. I keep, well, you could say delaying it, but that's only because of what else is going on. But it has to come. Maybe not as much demand or need now, in fairness, because Cade and Pressy acknowledged that Travis was there at the party. Can anyone else confirm? You know what would be good? If there was 2 or 3 other people that were like Cade and Pressy, but, you know, individuals, no connections, who were partygoers. If 2 to 3 other people were more like Cade, and, you know, a bit more additional consistency, and it wouldn't be a one against all situation. There are many situations in this case, which makes it just a little bit more complex and convoluted. Is this the messiest case out there? Phew. I don't know. You'd think, oh, well, there's so many people at the party, then it would mean there's higher chances that someone saw something, at least, of interest, and it's not been that simple, has it? And as for the interviews, as for looking through each individual, I think there's still many unnamed individuals, right? And maybe they're not quite relevant to the case, but that mystery of who else is out there. The Dylan Rouse case, even when it was getting towards the end, there was still some mysteries that weren't really cleared up, which was unfortunate. There might be many more mysteries here. You can leave your comments down below. Let me know what you think. How many mysteries are within this case? Because I can't remember where it came from, but some people were referencing... Actually, what was that on the road just then? Did I see something like a black object? I'm getting distracted. What is that? What is that? What the hell? What is that? At first I thought it was like hair or someone's wig. No, 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 this is not the time for people to start saying, oh, that's Warlight Ref's wig, left it behind on the roadway. Nope. It must be roadkill, but is it a badger? Is it a skunk? Is it... It looks like it's got a tail. It looks a bit flat. Huh. Unfortunate. Can you see it from a different angle? Has it got its legs up? And then what's that white thing next to it? And then what's that white thing over there? Weird. Well, I'm sure Americans will come in and say, yeah, Raph, yeah, right, it's not weird. You need to get a grip of yourself, Raph. You need to wake up. We see this on a daily basis getting flattened out like a pancake. Okay, well, good for you. There was the references, what I saw in the comment section previously, to do the highway vet at some point, early hours of Monday morning when a person was just passing on by. They were not jumped in that way, like scared them that, what is it, a side-by-side or some vehicle passed on by on the other side of the road, maybe coming down from where the body was found. How significant is that? And the timing? Personally, I can't remember the key details, but I just wanted to reiterate it in case anyone's forgotten or never heard of it before. Maybe it can be elaborated below. I've just not really had time to focus on that exact area. But, you know, just like with the Dylan Rounds case, very vast, open, quite sparse, just like how it is here. It's not like, oh, we'll go to the nearest building, abandoned building. I've not seen any crates, not seen that many sheds. Even in Lucerne, Utah, there's a lot more there to work with. Significance over that way, probably not much at all. The railroad track situation's kind of gone quiet since. Not really seen any evidence backed up. As for the mile marker, which Caden Pressey mentioned, roughly speaking, let me just make sure I'm facing the correct way first of all. Round that point. So how far down was this highway closed, and where's the mile marker point? If I get as close as I can to the body, it was like around this area. There's no turnaround points, is there? So it'd have to be further down that way, back towards the party house. And what's the nearest one? Make sure we're facing north. It would be here. So did Caden come down this way and Renee too in their own vehicles? It was closed from here or so, the mile marker, and then took a turn down that dirt road down there. Does anyone know personally? Just out of interest. Just club up some points along the way. The body would be down that way. I'm just thinking, if a road's closed, you got to be alerted in time, so then you can make the decision to turn around or maybe turn off down another road possibly. Obviously you wouldn't be going down that way because that goes to that like quarry, but you can turn down that way. And the party house is over there. You can actually see the back of the buildings that way. Fortunate that the street view isn't probably exactly relevant to the day, the night of one of the days of the parties. I don't know if I've done it. I probably haven't done it yet. Maybe I should have a little look at the Google Earth Pro to go back in time to see what dates I can find. That would be kind of interesting, and see how it's changed, if it has. So, if I think of any more ideas, I'll let you know. But what I do want to do is just briefly transition on to what JJ Bumpas had to say to me. So here we are. What I have done is, okay, we've heard the name JJ Bumpas, but what does JJ actually mean? Is it one whole name or what? Well, I saw the name mentioned, but I'm not sharing it here. I've kind of cut it off. Is that out of respect for their privacy? I mean, you can interpret it however you want, but let's just see it as a form of damage limitation for now. As for the account that reached out to me claiming to be JJ Bumpas, I'll base it off it being them realistically, okay? Just be patient for a second. So this JJ says, can I get you to do something simple for me? My last name is Bumpas, not I'm having difficulties already. Apologies about this. Let me just try and say it again. So JJ says, my last name is Bumpas, not bump ass. Something like that. Could you please pronounce it correctly in the future? Well, that's the thing, I'm trying to, but with certain words, like in the English language, it just is how it sounds. Maybe if you're from a different country, it differs, right? I mean, it's like when people say, I'm going to get some data or data. I need to get to the mall. I want some yogurt. I want some tomatoes. We don't say that. We say tomato. We say yogurt, right? Who's right, who's wrong? Maybe people are right in their own ways from what country they come from and how it's pronounced there. It is what it is. Some people will say France. I may say France. Okay? Some people may say dance. I say dance. Some people may say, can I please pass through onto the correct path? I say path. I say pass. It is what it is. We're saying the same thing. We're just pronouncing it differently because of the countries that we come from. But I just wanted to give a just reference there. So JJ Bumpas, not bump ass, says, could you pronounce it correctly? I've done nothing to you. Well, I agree with that. JJ has done nothing bad to me up to now. So I appreciate that. You neither have... What's this? Nothing to you. Neither have any of my ancestors. Wait, is JJ Bumpers saying that his ancestors, what, those that are alive, are you talking about like in the past, Asian aliens, just people in the past that are no longer here? I mean, I've not been haunted, I've not had any paranormal activity, or are you talking about actual people that are alive? At least to my knowledge, I've not been attacked by JJ or his connections, but there might be people out there on other pages or platforms that might have been attacked or feel like they've been attacked. It's like Brooke Bounce Carter, where people may have been on the receiving end of her and bad things have happened, but when it comes to me, I've not really had that much of a problem, or they've not had as much of a problem with me, though they did facepalm when it came to some supposed old news. But at the end of the day, I think the simple reality is Brooke Bounce Carter misunderstood the further importance behind it. It doesn't matter when it happened, it did happen. And it was done with a form of intent, with a specific threat. Now, yes, it wasn't aimed at me, it was some of the situation, but I was just simply looking at it to try and work out what it's all about and how much depth does it really have. So these ancestors have not come after me or haunted me. I'm pretty proud of my last name. That's fine, as you should be. I've lived my life to not dishonour it. It's pronounced like Bumpus. Bumpus. To be honest, that sounds like a medical condition. You might need to get that checked out. Bumpus. When I think of pus, like what comes out of your body, I don't know about the bum. So I'm just trying to break it down. I'm trying to analyse the bumpus. If I analyse the ass, I mean, that's what's causing this issue, isn't it? So apologies about that. Might have been a bit of a mix-up. So it's not bum ass, it's not bump ass, but it's bumpus. Puss puss. Bumpus, puss puss. I think I'm getting there. With stress on the first syllable, not the second. Right. I've watched all your videos on Noah's death and appreciate that you are keeping his name fresh so he isn't forgotten. Well, if this is truly what JJ is saying, and it really is JJ Bumpers, if I said that correctly, it's good that he's acknowledging my videos. That's all fine there. I think sometimes the other problem what might occur is, you know, when you're talking really fast, you're like, what pissed Jack off? Jack off. Sorry, excuse me. I didn't know we were getting up to that activity. No, Jack didn't jack off. Jack didn't jack himself up or jacked off Jill up the hill. No, we're talking about what pissed Jack Newton off. But if you're saying it really quick, maybe you can get ahead of yourself. Maybe you need to draw it back a little bit. Instead of jack off, you say, what pissed Jack off? Jack off sounds like something else. But jack off, a little bit different. Maybe that can be applied to bum, ass, and bumpers. But then again, that's saying it fast. It's like the opposite way. Bumpers, pumpers. No. See, I'm just doing this just to practice because, you know, practice equals perfection. JJ Bumpers. Is that right? Or JJ Bum Us? No. 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 Bum are us. Bump are us. Bumpers. Bumpers. What are bumpers on cars? No, that's something completely different. I mean, the only problem is we're saying JJ Bumpus. It could run the risk of, if like in a rush, you know, when you say JJ Bumpussy, bum, and I end up stuttering as well. I don't know if anyone's noticed that, but sometimes I do stutter with my words. That's just a natural thing with me. It happens, I'm sure it happens with some other people where you stutter. Some people have it worse than others. So when I say bum ass or bum pass, I don't stutter as much because of the way my mouth is, you know. I can't really explain it. Sometimes when you pronounce words, I've pronounced other words and people have difficulty in hearing or understanding what I'm saying. But certain words where it uses certain facial expressions and the mouth movement, there's less likely reasons for it to spaz out my mouth. If I say bumpus, bum, like that. I sound like a bit of a drum. Puss, bumpus, bumpass, bumpus. It's going to take some time. But hopefully people understand and those are patient. In terms of JJ Bumpers, in terms of his account, joined June 2023, 5 followers, following some random accounts. I don't know, it just seemed like it might have been a fake account. It's hard to tell. You know, I'm just being honest. I do come across a range of people over time and I don't know if it's really them. It could be, and we always acknowledge it. It could always be someone else on the sideline messing about, fiddling around. It is what it is. But whether it's Bumpas, Bumpers, Bumpus, Pussycat or something, we'll get there. Okay? I mean, most of the names are okay to pronounce. They're not that technical. I guess if you're dealing with maybe some Spanish names or African names, that would probably be very difficult to do. But we're not at that stage just yet, but there's always a time and place. So just let me know your thoughts down below. I mean, I guess it makes a change. It's different because whilst maybe other people have been attacked in this case or within the community or feel threatened, and then someone just simply reaches out and says, hey, could you pronounce it differently or say it the correct way? It's just a simple request. It's not a full-on demand. There's no threatening language here. And that's just like a normal observation, right? But maybe if someone else was in this situation, they would be thinking, oh my God, I'm being threatened? No, that's not right. And then it might turn into a Karen, I don't know, which opens up the warlike Karen voice, okay? Not in terms of what's on screen right now, but in a different scenario of where someone could get very triggered. Warlike Karen sounds like this. Hello? My name's Warlike Karen. Yeah, I'm really disappointed. I would like to report it to the manager. Yeah, sorry, I'm just really hyperventilating. I'm absolutely triggered. Yeah. I want to see your manager right now. I'm going to tell him off. I'm going to make sure that he fires your ass. Oh, sorry, that was not a reference. No. Oh my God, you're going to have a problem with me as well just because I said ass? There's got no relation to your situation. This is Warlike Karen dealing with some other petty individuals, not me. I'm not the problem. They're the problem, but if you're going to have a problem with me, I'm going to have a problem with you. Okay? I don't care what y'all are doing, but I'm turning into a bit of a southern Karen. I've never really done that before. But there you go. That's just another one. And of course, the earlier one.
Arnold! The Arnold competition where we build all the iron and we pick it up with the body, the head, the helicopter comes running on in and keeps running all around. What am I supposed to do? I get no help. By myself. I was trying to do my thing, you know.
There we go. I think that pretty much rounds it all off today. I think I will have to think long and hard regarding the title of this video because it is a bit of a convoluted mess, but then again, it's a microcosm of what's going on within the case, right? So hopefully somehow, somewhere, someplace you found this a little bit interesting. Don't worry, it's not always going to be this bad. It's just like a one-off here and there. What I do want to make reference to is a little bit off subject, but I've only just noticed that, and I don't know if it's going to apply here with other videos, if it's just a glitch, but when I did the last video, the light-hearted one from last night, 50 Shades of Ref, the audio wasn't in sync with the photos on screen. And at the time, I used the screen recorder with the microphone turned on, so it was all one piece. I didn't add anything else to it. And yet, when playing it back, it was out of sync. So when it switched to another photo, a slide, I was still talking about the previous thing. The audio wasn't in sync with the video, and that's a little bit concerning because I'm hoping it doesn't impact or affect, you know, these proper videos. That would be very unfortunate. And then when I think about it, when I did do one particular video, it seemed to skip ahead at some point. It wasn't that major, it was only a certain area. But if it continues like that, I'll have to be very careful because it could ruin it all. Unless it's just because my dodginess has corrupted the device. But if my device is corrupted, who's there to fix it then? I do all the fixing. Who fixes me? Ooh, that sounds very deep. Doesn't have to be them. Anyway, let's leave it there for now. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time, and hopefully next time we'll have a stronger grip of things. So yeah, goodbye.